Okay, time to get back to our single note playing. And in this lesson, lesson number 2, I'm going to show you some very common and basically essential techniques and articulations, as people refer to them, that you will need to know how to do in order to play lead guitar and a lot of melodies. Okay? I'm going to start out with probably the most important of them all, the bend. Alright? On the sheet music and tablature I've shown you here, I'm starting out, I'm again thinking about that A minor pentatonic at the 5th fret. I'm going to be over here on the 3rd string, 7th fret. I've got my 3rd finger down on that note, but I like to bring other fingers in to help push that note up. And you see there in the sheet music it has an arrow, that means bend, and it says full at the top. You might also see it say a number. It might say the number 1, which means a whole step bend. Whole steps and half steps are something we'll talk about in this course as well. But for the time being, when we talk about a whole step bend, we're bending that note until it sounds like the note 2 frets higher. That's what a whole step is. If it said 1/2, we'd be bending it only 1 fret to make that 1 fret difference. But you want to work on your bends a lot. You want to get it smooth, quick, strong, confident. Okay, just work them over and over and over. What if you did 2 or 3 minutes of just doing this bend? Your hand will be worn out, but you'll have the bend down. This is the most common place to play that bend, is in that scale pattern and at that fret. But the next place, over here on the 2nd string, I like to use my pinky. If you use your 3rd finger, well, okay, I prefer the pinky. A whole step bend. And again, do it over and over. You want to make sure that you're being consistent in the pitch you're bending to. You don't want to end up doing this. All that kind of stuff. You don't want to do that. You want to get consistent. Okay? Work on it until it becomes consistent. Part of the working on it until it becomes consistent is building up the strength in the hand to do that. Alright? One more bend. 8th fret of the 1st string. Okay, same thing. You want to work those until you get them very smooth and consistent. Okay, the next technique is called a unison bend. I'm going to be bending the same string, but this time I've got another string. I'm going to be playing both notes at once. In this case, I'm playing my 3rd finger at the 7th fret on the 3rd string. My 1st finger is over here on the 5th fret of the 2nd string. My 2nd finger is going to come down behind the 3rd finger to push. I'm going to strike both strings at once with the pick and bend, and you need to hear the bent note equal the tone, the pitch of the other note. And this is called a unison bend. You want to practice these going up and down the neck. Like that. Put them all over the place. Work them. Here's another unison bend on the top 2 strings, only this time we have to be 3 frets apart. It's a little trickier. I'm going to put all 3 fingers down on that 2nd string to help push. Okay? Unison bends, you got to get those. Okay, another very, very common technique is called the bend and release. I'm going to still be on that 3rd string, 3rd finger. I'm going to bend that note and then release it. I pick it once before I bend it, then I bend it, but I let it keep ringing while I release it back to the original position, so we hear the note go up and then come back. This is called a bend and release. Okay, you want to work on those too. Next technique, very important. It's called a hammer-on. I'm going to play a note. I'm going to pick that note, but I'm going to slam my other finger down above it. Hammer-on. Okay, you want to get consistent with playing hammer-ons using all 4 fingers. Like, how about like this? 1, 2, 1, 3, 1, 4, 2, 4, 3, 4. You want to work them all. Get to where you can do hammer-ons with all of them. Okay, the opposite of a hammer-on is a pull-off. I'm going to start with both fingers down on the neck, on the fret, on that same string. I'm going to pick the first note and pull off to the other note. And you need to understand here the motion of that finger that's pulling off. It sort of needs to pluck the string on its way off. You can't just lift it straight up because then the second note won't sound. As that first finger comes off, it has to put a little downward pressure and pluck at the string. Okay? So this is another technique you want to work on with all your fingers. Okay? A trill is a combination hammer-on pull-off. I'm going to start with my first finger. I'm going to slam the third finger down like a hammer-on, and then do a pull-off, but I'm going to do it over and over rapidly. Okay? Now I'm playing with a real clean tone here. It would be a lot easier with a lead guitar tone, but I want you to hear this. Okay? You want to practice trills with different fingers. Okay? Once again. One more technique you need to know is called a slide. And this is any time when you play a note on a string and you just literally slide that finger up or down the string while the note sounds. So I'm going to start here with my first finger at the 7th fret and slide down to the 5th fret. Okay? Of course, you can slide the other way too. You need to get used to both of those. One more technique that's very important, vibrato. And there's a lot of different theories on how vibrato should go. Basically, though, we're just wiggling the string a little bit, all right? My hand is sort of moving a little bit, almost as if I'm opening a doorknob. That's something you might want to consider when you work on vibrato. See the motion of my hand? It's subtle, because I don't want to bend that string too much, but it's like that, all right? And that's a technique you want to work on with all of your fingers, all 4 of your fingers. Vibrato. You got to get that one.